26,000 Indian soldiers died in this campaign. 26,000 Indian soldiers died in this particular campaign. Right? This is almost 1/3 of that force. And yet people have the cheek to tell us today in terms of history that we got our freedom because of satyagraha, ahimsa, fasting, non-violence. You know, that is the pity, and we believe it. Please open the textbooks of your children and you will find this lie printed at government expense in every textbook of your children. Right? Next please. Next. Yeah, go on. Keep going. Here's some of the glimpses of that war. This was a hopeless kind of a thing. The Americans dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There was no need to. Japan was as it is on its knees. It was going to surrender. The bomb was not dropped on Germany, but the bomb was dropped on the Asian people of Japan because they wanted to test what is the exact impact of a bomb on living human beings. These people now today lecture to us on human rights. These people lecture to us on human rights. The war was over. Anybody else would have either committed suicide or done something or whatever. Here is Bose. He says, I will fight on till I am alive. This battle is alive. He first made a plan that he would join the Burmese National Army and start guerrilla warfare in Burma. He would not retreat. He would start guerrilla warfare in Burma. Suddenly the Burmese, they turned, the moment the British won, they went and joined the British. This is the kind of things that happened. And his whole plan to fight on in Burma and from there try and enter India with guerrilla forces failed. Did this man give up? No. Tenacity. Do you understand what is tenacity of purpose? I will never give in. I will never say die.
And legal people can be very sharp and very pointed. So you have another luminary here. He asked him the second question. He said, what then, sir, was the role of Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent freedom movement in the grant of independence to India? He says, and I quote, Attlee's face twisted into a sarcastic smile as he spelled out the words M-I-N-I-M-A-L. Minimal! Who's saying this? Not G.D. Bakshi. Lord Clement Attlee, Labour Prime Minister of England, who granted you your freedom, who wrote your freedom. Second question, was it freedom in 1947? It was called transfer of power. It was not called freedom, please. When Sri Lanka was given freedom around the same time, it was independence. It was freedom, grant of freedom. When Burma got this thing, it was given grant of freedom. But when it was given to you, it was called transfer of power.
That was suck to London? Yes, sir, I found out he's talked to so and so. Like hell. Like hell. But that is not where it ends. We Indians must read about Bose. We must go on a journey of this fantastic man. Take a look at these photographs. Can you just go back a slide? Because I'd like to start the story from there. That's it. No. I said one slide, please. There you are. He was put under house arrest. He escaped, dressed as a dumb Pathan, mute. He reaches Afghanistan. He contacts the Russian embassy, tries to seek asylum. He is refused. Contacts the German embassy. He is refused. Goes to the Italian embassy. And then, dressed, as a Italian count, he escapes to Italy. He meets Mussolini. And next he goes to Germany. The man for whom you are today free people, we have collaborated in murder. It should be on our conscience for all time. And the only way we can atone this murder to which we are all a party. You know, if you don't say anything about a murder, you are equally guilty in the law. At least you are abetting that murder, that crime. The only way we can atone is by keeping that man's memory alive. We are told that, you know, we cannot give him a Bharat Ratna. Don't give him a Bharat Ratna. You know, we are told that we can't build a statue to him on Rajpath. We can't build even a memorial to the 26,000 Indians who were killed. Can you put Netaji on your 50 rupees and 100 rupee notes, which poor people like me and you? Sir, don't go. You can't. You will not make it. Go back. For God's sake, be sensible. He said, no question. I have come to fight for the liberation of my country. He goes. Many times the boat just vanishes. And the Japanese and the German captain, they bang their head. What the hell? But he goes across. Right? Next, please. In this sea state. And then he reaches Japan. He meets the Prime Minister, Tojo. He impresses him. Then he establishes, he takes supreme command of the Indian National Army. Raises it to a strength of 60,000. This is the structure of the INA. There were 3 divisions. You know, 2 of these, by the way, were commanded by Muslim officers who totally followed
what he's saying and what we are saying, I think more or less matches. And the story, the picture that emerges is not pretty. It disgraces you and me as Indians. Because it shows you the depths to which we can sink. If you think Jaichand was the last guy or Mir Jafar was the last guy, you are mistaken. Think again. The tradition continues. The tradition continues. You know, what happened to Bose? What happened to Bose is a deep, deep mystery. Now we'll give you some insights today into what happened. Next, please. Then the Khosla Commission. They never went to Taiwan. Sitting here, they said, wo mar gaya. Shana, not Habibur, I stand correct. Shana was. They never went to Taiwan. When the third commission of inquiry, in Mr. Bajpayee's time, when Vajpayee ji was the Prime Minister, Justice Mukherjee, he is the first person to have actually gone to Taiwan. He says, where are the records of air crashes in the month of August? In the whole month of August, there are no air crashes in Taiwan, in the Taihoku airfield. He says, you know, when you have very authentic data for you from the government archives, he's going to release it to the press for the first time. I am a researcher who's forced to work in the open domain. By 9 countries, including Germany and Japan. It was recognized by 9 countries, and Bose was the first Prime Minister. He was also, by the way, the Defense Minister and the Foreign Minister of this dispensation. Ladies and gentlemen, the tide of war has turned by this. You know, and here is one man who tells Hitler to his face, you were wrong in attacking the Soviet Union. Hitler, you know, people could be hung by meat hooks if they talked in any fashion that he felt, this warlord felt would be there. He had killed 6 million Jews, and this man had the courage to tell him, you were wrong in about this population, please show. So what is the role of the famous Indian government in all this? Please spread the story that he is dead. The legend that the Japanese had started, he died in an air crash, is very useful. Most useful. It helped him escape. It will now help us. The German captain looked at him, he looked at the sea. He said, sir, are you sure? You still want to go? This is what the German captain asked. He said, he asked, Captain, what would you advise me to do? The captain said, sir, I would advise you to go back. You know what Bose tells him? I did come out this way to go back. They take out a small rubber dinghy. Bose and his secretary and 2 German crews, they get into that with paddle boats and they start paddling towards that Japanese submarine at night.
war had turned by then. The Indian diaspora in Southeast Asia he recruited, and the girls and the ladies who are sitting here, he recruited a regiment of our girls to fight, and that was called the Rani of Jhansi regiment. Treating them as traitors, treating them as absolute traitors. Number two question, okay, the government is free to spy on anybody. If today it feels that General Bakshi is being unduly provocated, it has all the right to attack. Every soldier in the Indian National Army was an Indian first and last, and whatever else later, Yadav, Kurmi, Bakshi, I don't know whatever. Later, he was an Indian first and last. If we can keep that, only the tricolor that was taken up, because Lord Mountbatten insisted that the Union Jack would not go down. Before you sit down, you know, in the army there is a tradition, when we are about to launch an attack, the whole regiment gets together and shouts the battle cry. It is to see how much Josh you really got. And if you already got the Josh, the stones will tumble from the enemy hill. Will you please repeat after me a battle cry which comes from the Indian National Army?
Dear friends,
We are going. This is the Azad Hind Fauj. There are two things that the Indian Army has today. Every time you talk to a military phone, he picks up the phone, the first word that he says is, Jai Hind. Where do you think it comes from? The Indian National Army. When our boys pass out from the Indian Military Academy as officers, or from our regimental centers as recruits that become sepoys, you know, they march out to one tune. You know what is that tune? Kadam kadam badhaye ja, khushi ke geet gaye ja, ye zindagi hai kaun ki tu kaun ke lutaye ja. This is what the band plays today. Where do you think this tune comes from? The Indian National Army.